know I'm not asking for quotas. I'm not saying a fixed number of South Asians need to be in the Australian team. And I'm the last person who will ask for merit to be pushed aside when it comes to selection in sport. It's been 40 hours since my column on why Cricket Australia need to tap into the rising numbers of South Asian young cricketers coming through the ranks at grassroots levels and get them to the top level has appeared. And on the basis of most of the comments, it looks like not a lot of you have really read through the piece or have probably jumped to conclusions on the basis of a few keywords used there, whether it's diversity or multiculturalism or just, I guess, the concept of seeing more South Asian cricketers or cricketers of South Asian origin play state cricket. No, I mean, that's not what I aim to do, nor have Cricket Australia spoken about quotas or selection not being based on merit, that we need a certain amount of non-Caucasian cricketers into the side. No, none of that has appeared in the column. None of that appears in Cricket Australia's multicultural plan that they launched earlier this year. If anything, it's about recognizing and identifying the fact that we already have a lot of South Asian origin cricketers in particular coming through the ranks. 40% of under 12 cricketers around Australia who play representative cricket come from either India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or Afghanistan. So that's that's the target audience, or that's the target for Cricket Australia, to tap into those young cricketers and make sure that the drop-off rate, which has been so high over the years, and just to put that into context, just 4% of men's state cricketers right now who are contracted by the various states, the 6 states, are of South Asian origin, and that number has already dropped from 7%, by the way. And when you look at the history of Australian Test cricket, it's been a handful of cricketers, male and female, who play Test cricket for Australia, who do have are of South Asian descent. So I think that's the disparity that needs fixing. It has nothing to do with quotas. It's neither am I saying this nor Cricket Australia is saying that, you know what, we just have to ensure that this team forcibly needs South Asian cricketers in it because we're trying to cater to some specific market. No, none of that it has been discussed or has appeared in this piece or in that plan that I mentioned. So it's about that. It's about understanding the cultural differences between whether it's the coach parent relationship, which I have described in detail in the column, how different it is when, say, a kid comes from India or a family moves from India. The parent and coach, the coach is always put on a pedestal, the same pedestal as a school teacher or even a parent, like it's a pseudo parent for that period where the kid is at cricket training or at a cricket match. So often you'll see that the coach is referred to as sir or madam because that's the pedestal that they put on. And when I talk about it being an investment for a lot of people, I obviously generalize. When you talk about these issues or these topics, you end up generalizing a little. That's just how it works. But in my experience of being Indian, having grown up there playing cricket in India, and then also having covered and watched a lot of junior cricket in Australia, what I have seen and what I do know is a lot of Indian expats and Pakistani expats come here and often if they're not in professions or industries which are high paying, have to or end up having to have 2 or 3 jobs. And so if they are sacrificing a Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning to take their kid to cricket, that could potentially be harming the family in terms of one source of income being blocked because that time is being they're committing that time to somewhere else. So that's what I mean. So there's a lot of cultural differences that exist, and that's what Cricket Australia are trying to bring in. They're trying to bring in the multicultural ambassador program, which I'm very honored to be a part of, is about that. Is about understanding, okay, how do we keep these guys? If there are 40%, which is nearly half of the under 12 cricketers in Australia come from a certain part of the world, why is there such a drop off? How do we hold on to them? Like, what role does academics play? And like I put in my column, when you get to the 10th, 12th grade, and most of these cricketers, and Jacob Koreap has written a beautiful column or article which went alongside my column, appeared in the Australian over the weekend, and he talks about how most of the cricketers who have gone on to represent their state or even Australia of South Asian origin, whether it's Usman Khawaja, whether it's Gurinder Sandhu, or even Jason Sangha, who's now moved to South Australia from New South Wales. A lot of them tasted success very early on, even Alana King, which made sure that decisions weren't taken for them where they had to choose academics over sport. And that's again just cultural understanding of where we come from or how South Asia works. So I mean, having said all of that, I appreciate all the comments. All feedback is welcome. But I do request you, it's a request, go and read the column from top to bottom. Probably you'll then understand that most of the things you've accused me of saying in the column do not exist. I'm not asking for quotas. I'm not saying a fixed number of South Asians need to be in the Australian team. None of that. It's just that, okay, there are a lot of these kids coming through. How do we hold on to them? And it's a positive way of looking at it. And I'm the last person who will ask for merit to be pushed aside when it comes to selection in sport. Thank you so much.